What's up, family? Happy Friday, man. I hope everybody had a great week this week. Let me see. I need to raise this up. Look, in this video, I'll be going over ways real estate investors utilize land trusts. All right. But before we get started, if you're watching this on Instagram, then make sure you go ahead and hit that follow button. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the content if you like it. Also hit the notification button to get updates for new content. Now look, land trust, right? Real estate investors utilize land trust in a multitude of ways. First of all, if you are looking to really build a legacy and build generational wealth when it comes to land trust, then you also want to understand not just land trust, but you want to understand the 1031 exchange or get familiar with 1031 exchange and also a ladybird deed, right? But land trust and real estate can be utilized for fix and flip, right? Fix and flip opportunities. That'll be more so for protection, liability aspect of it. Land trust can be utilized and are utilized in a lot of ways for like subject to transactions, meaning if you're acquiring a property that's subject to another mortgage, right? And there's a lot of different scenarios where that happens, such as cash for keys, right? Also, if a seller is doing owner financing, then a land trust can be utilized to protect the buyer and the seller. If you happen to receive a property through like from a family member through like a death of a family member, then normally that process of that transaction would require a probate. So land trust also can be utilized to avoid probate. And speaking of probate, you also can get familiar with the ladybird deed. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with how the ladybird deed, or if the ladybird deed is relevant and acts the same way in other states outside of Florida. But in Florida, ladybird deed can be utilized to avoid a probate, which helps family members when you receive a property from a death of a family member. Like if you're an heir, then it can help the family member avoid a lot of the associated attorney fees with the probate process. All right. So 1031 exchange, of course, that's used for investors. If you're really trying to build wealth, generational wealth, and a legacy, then you definitely want to get familiar with a 1031 exchange. Now, land trust can be a very versatile tool, tool when it comes to real estate investing. And most people think of a land trust only when it comes to real estate investing. But you as a seller, you as a buyer, like a first-time home buyer, can definitely utilize a land trust. There's a lot of there's a lot of creative ways that people are becoming homeowners using land trusts, like with the rent to own process, right? A land trust definitely can be utilized in a rent to own transaction. And if you have been considering doing like a lease with the option to buy, or owner finance and seller financing, I would definitely recommend you consult with a professional to see what options you have that will protect you just outside of that contract. And so land trusts are a very good tool to get familiar with. But look, tomorrow, January 31st, right? Saturday, January 31st, we're having our From Rent to Wealth Home Buyer Seminar, where I'll be going over the land trust more in depth. I'll also be talking about the 1031 exchange more in depth, and also how the ladybird deed works more in depth, right? If we're talking about building a legacy, building generational wealth, then these are things that we definitely want to get familiar with when it comes to real estate, and not just real estate investing, right? Because we need to look at protecting our assets, and also when we're passing our assets down to our family members, we need to understand how to avoid adding additional burdens to them. And these vehicles can also help, right, avoid those types of burdens when we're transferring property to another family member. So look, if you haven't already, if you're watching this from YouTube, I've dropped the link to register in the description. If you're watching this on Instagram or on one of the other platforms, TikTok, then you can get the link from my bio, or in the comments, type trust, All right. And I'll send you the direct link to register. Again, From Rent to Wealth workshop is going down tomorrow, Saturday, January 31st, from 12 to 3 p.m. Promptly. And we'll be going over a lot of different strategies that first-time home buyers can utilize. Also, investors, homeowners, if you're a seller, right? If you own a home and you're looking at investing, pulling equity, and doing some other things, then you probably want to know more about the things that we'll be discussing and how investors are utilizing these strategies to transfer property ownership, also trade up and protecting their assets. All right. Listen, I'm Emmett Combs. If you recently received the property from a family member through a death, I would love to sit down and have a conversation, or I would love to sit and do a consultation with you, a free consultation with you, just go over what options you may have, right? Either to avoid the probate or what options you have to navigate the probate situation. But you can reach me at 786-277-1190. Also, you can shoot me a direct message, all right? And love the opportunity to speak with you about what options you have. All right, listen, happy Friday, man. I hope y'all guys had a great week. Again, be sure to subscribe to our channel, follow our channel for more updates. And if you watch this on Instagram, then go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and follow. All right, y'all be blessed.